Now that we have our tubes drawn, what we need to do is kind of move some of them in the right position, and then we'll trim them, and your bike frame will be done. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to move this down tube. So what's kind of nice is because these are still undefined, they're blue lines, that means they're undefined, we can actually move them around a little bit. So I'm going to move this on the bottom of this down tube up just a little bit, and then my top tube actually looks pretty good. You kind of want just a little bit of gap, maybe 5 to 8 millimeter gap right there. And you don't have to measure, it's just a good visual gap, and you want both of those, this distance and this distance, to be kind of matched. All right, now that I got that positioned well, I'm going to come over here and use a new tool called the trim. I'm going to click on the trim, and this trim tool is really neat. You just click and hold down the button, and as you do that, you draw over what you want to trim. So I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. I'm going to click down and go over, trim that, trim that. I'm going to trim this, and then I'm actually going to zoom in here and trim that. And then there's also a really tiny little line right here, and trim that. All right, so my head tube should look pretty good. I have my center lines going all the way to this center line of the head tube, and then I have the outside of my top tube and down tube. All right, now I'm going to go back to the back end of my bike. I'm going to do the same kind of thing where I'm going to hit escape. Now I'm going to move my seat stay up a little bit. I'm going to kind of put it about there, make them in line. And then now, and again, that's kind of just a visual choice. I'm going to use my trim tool, click on the trim tool. I'm going to go through and click and delete the ends of these little lines that, oh, I don't want that one. So undo that sketch, trim that off, trim that, trim that. All right, now I want to come down to the rear end with the axle, and I can actually trim this line, trim this line, trim this line. Zoom in, trim, nope, edit, undo trim, trim this little line, no, trim this line and this line. All right, so the rear end looks good, and I'm actually going to just draw a line and connect my chainstay and seat stay together. And then I'm going to come over here to my bottom bracket, and I'm going to use the trim tool here again. We got a whole lot of lines, a lot of scrap that we don't need. So I'm going to trim this chainstay, trim this seat stay, trim the seat stay, trim the chainstay, trim the chainstay, trim the chainstay, and that looks pretty good. All right, so if I zoom out, I should have a completed diagram of a bike frame. All right. Good luck, and let me know if I can help you with anything.